I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, hi. Thank you, all of you that stood at that, didn't go, just kind of waited for us to get those technical things ironed out. Thank you so much. My name is Mary D. Welch. I'm the host of The Mary D. Show. Those that know, watch The Mary D. Show. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for coming in, watching the show with us today, because we have a special guest with us today. I can tell you right now, you're really going to have a good time. Hi, Sheila. I'm going to see if I can put you in. This is really, I try to show when people say things, I really kind of bring everything into view. But let me just tell you, thank you for coming in and thank you for supporting each and every one of you. And something I never really talk about is how you can get in touch with me. I never talk about that, but those of you that have been wanting to, I received an email recently, and someone said, "Do you know what I had to do to find you?" They went I think they Googled me and they found somebody. They found my email. But you can reach me. I am on Facebook. Those of you watching me Facebook Live, and you can also. I do have a website, and it's marydwelch.com. That's another way you can reach me. But I'm reachable. I try to be available. And I'll have that, it'll be scrolling at the bottom so you guys can see that. But I like to just tell you, you can always reach me. I didn't tell you guys, I have a new book coming out. I'm too excited. And it's a children's book. So if you're interested in finding out more about that, go to marydwelch.com and you can get on the email list. And so I email, anytime the books come out, I always you guys are the first ones. And you get the best deals. To be honest, you're the first ones. I usually let the books come out. And for you that know, they come out on Kindle first. And this book will come out in the next, I think it's the next 2 weeks. But I'll make sure you know about it. And I'll let you be the first ones to be able to purchase the book. So, and it's a children's book. You guys really know that's my go-to is children's book. I do write other books, but I predominantly write children's books. And some of you may not already know too that I teach people how to write. And I just haven't talked about that, but I have had people tell me, "Oh, thank you, Sheila. Thank you, sweetheart." Of people not knowing that I do this. I teach you how to write. I think we all have it in us, but sometimes you just need that help getting it out of us. And if you're interested, just go to the Mary D website, .com, and you can find me there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we are honored here at the Mary D Show. We're honored because we have this fabulous lady here with us. I mean, when I tell you, those of you know that I write, I'm a little bit one-dimensional, but she is multi-dimensional. I mean, she writes, she acts, she produces, she does so many things. She is so many hats. But I just want you to meet her because she is not only a guest, she's a friend. She enjoys a successful career as a singer, songwriter, musician, and a playwright. That takes a lot to do all that. She grew up listening to artists such as Mahalia Jackson. She also quotes Whitney Houston and Yolanda Adams as some of her favorite artists. So those are her go-tos. She's fond of reading and participating in dramas and attending several Shakespearean plays. She has a degree in psychology, and on top of that, she organizes events at Walt Disney, at the LA County Fair, in addition to that, at A Taste of Soul in LA, and Global Independent Film, she's a Global Independent Film Award winner. She also has received an award as a trailblazer. And think about all these things. But in all that, she released her rendition of the Christmas classic, Silent Night, which is a visual display of her love in the life of Christ through music. Now, on top of all of these things, she's also a wife and a mother. Think about all the things she's also a wife and a mother. So I just want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, this is Tracy. I don't want to say your name right, but it's Aasiya-Bey. Tracy, Stacey, I'm wrong. Stacey, help me. Anyway, here's Stacey. Stacey, here you go. Let me bring, this things. Let me bring you into the room.
Hello.
I know we have had a time today, but that's okay. You made it in, and I'm glad you're here.
I am here. Hi. Hi, hello everybody.
I tell you. Well, tell me. You, as I was reading all those things, somewhere this started when you were a little girl. So, where did all of these, because you're creative. You're creative. So where did all this creativity first begin?
You know, I think it came from my parents because honestly, I don't think I would have considered myself so much creative, even though looking back now, I would definitely say that I was creative, but my parents are both singers and my father's a musician. So we grew up, I did, in a household of singers, musicians, and traveling and singing and growing up in church as well. There was a lot of music. So
Okay.
the musical side, even though I didn't necessarily want to sing as much as they had me sing with my sisters, but it was something we had to do. It wasn't necessarily, an option.
Oh.
But I think the thing is, my parents saw the gifts,
Mhm.
even though it was not something I was actively pursuing as a child. But
Right.
very young, like I sang with my family and then later on my sisters because we were really young, singing three-part harmony and things like that. So people wanted to hear us sing all the time, but
Uh-huh.
secretly I didn't want to because they would label me as being really shy and I just didn't enjoy being in the spotlight. And so
Oh.
I took that to mean it wasn't something I was supposed to do.
But
Uh,
it must have been seeping in though. Even
yeah, oh,
though
it was
you didn't.
definitely seeping in.
Yeah. Well, you must have been good at it. It wasn't that you weren't, you know what I mean? That there was an encouragement that it was probably to come out of your comfort zone. You may have not known that's what it was, but like you said,
Right.
if you were shy, being in front of people is really hard. But you know what they say? Most entertainers are shy. Did you know?
I would hear them say that, and honestly, I understood it and I
Yeah.
understand it. And I think, too, when you're in a family of great singers, it's not like
Mhm.
your gift is all that. Because they do it and they do it well. Especially my sisters, they were more. It was like their thing. When I grew up, I want to be a singer, so it was their thing. But for me, I was just kind of like in the background, like okay, I know that I can sing, I know that part, but as trying to pursue anything in music, I went in the other direction. Actually, I
Well,
did.
you know what though? It sounds like it pursued you.
It totally pursued me. That would be a great way of describing
Mhm.
it because I did not want to be in choral in school. I chose arts and crafts instead. So I learned how to quilt, I learned how to crochet, a little drawing, art. I do some of that stuff too. So yeah,
But
the
you know,
creativity was there.
and not only that, you were trying to do things away from being in front of people. I see what you're doing.
You see me?
You,
See, I am
I see.
exposed.
No, because the things you're describing are quiet activities. They're not where you have to be on a stage in front of people entertaining.
Bingo.
I tell you, even when I watched the Grammys last night, and all I kept thinking when people perform, you could almost see them go into a shell almost. They on stage, they were a different person than where they were, who they are off stage.
Yes. Yes.
I could see it really.
Yeah, and I experienced that. So people expect that kind of dynamic personality because it's like, whoa, I want to do that. But then off the stage, then you're this reserved person. So then it came off as you're standoffish or you think that you're all that when really it's like, no, I'm not. This is just, I don't talk a lot.
Right,
Small
right.
talk, I'm not big on that. But it
Uh,
would get misconstrued as something else. So then you would get that treatment sometimes because you were in the spotlight as if you thought you were something bigger than you were, and it's like you have no idea. I really don't want to do this, but
that is
I
too
have
much.
to.
If they only knew what was going on inside of you,
Yes,
you know what? They
they would
probably
hug me and love on me.
you were sitting up here, you're doing this internal fight inside of you, but people see you and you're doing such a good job, and they're pouring all that, all that. Well, they are giving you attention and love, but you
Yes.
oh no, this is not me. That's what
Right.
this is not me. But
I've totally grown into it, I must say.
well,
And
I
I
can
think
tell.
too, as I've heard even shout out to Patrice who recommended me to you. I heard her say, you know, often people just have these, notions of who you are, but God has a way of bringing things out of you. He really
Yeah.
does, and
Yeah.
um, I'm just grateful for that. He's continued to govern my life and show me who I am and what he wants me to do, because I didn't see music as an avenue for success or, the lifestyle that I wanted. Because as you all stated in the interview with her, it's not like it's so solid, you know what I'm saying? In terms of
Yeah.
pay, it can be fickle. So
Yeah.
that was another reason why I steered away from music, because it's like often too there's this stereotype of, y'all can sing and dance. And that's, I
Yeah.
pursued a science degree.
Yeah.
I was going into the biology route because I didn't want to be seen as like this all you can do is sing, and I can do other things too.
Right.
And honestly, even as I say these words, I feel like it's something I have been trying to convince people forever. Yes, I can sing. I know that, but I can do other things too. Do not just put me in the box of
Right.
singer.
Right.
Let me show you.
Yeah. And then plus, like you said, which a lot of people know too, the arts are not as you may not always know when you're going to get paid, as opposed to as they call it, the job, where
Right.
the arts are just a different world in the art field. I know I have cousins that are artists, and they usually had a job with the gas company or another, something that was solid to pay the bills, and then they did their art.
Exactly.
And everybody's different. Everybody has to find their way. That's why. But I would say this too. One dimensional in the arts. You didn't just take it and say, okay, I can sing. You didn't leave it there though. You're a playwright. There's more to your artistry. Is what I'm trying to say. It's just it's so multidimensional. How did you find out that you could write in addition to sing?
Boy, it's been a journey. I would say the writing started in my head, because even as I reflect back as a child, I wasn't necessarily a writer then, but I would always have these stories in my head that I didn't know what to do with them. And my aunt, who, God bless her soul, she passed this past November. But when I was in the 11th grade, she gave me a journal. That was when I started writing down my thoughts. I still journal. So since back then, 17, I still have all of those writings. So it became a way for me to express myself, my thoughts that I felt I could not share with others. And then it branched off into sort of stories, and the songwriting sort of just came from, what I was feeling. So if I was sad, then the poetry and things like that, the rhythm and rhyme of it just came out. I wasn't trying to write a poem. It just came out. And then I started noticing, wow, I'm thinking in rhyme. So I would just start writing it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I always say that it's in you. It was already in you. And then like you said, you're expressing it. And I'm a definite person about journaling. My mom had journals, I think it's like 40 of them.
Oh, wow.
Many journals. She was a journaler. I write, but I don't necessarily journal, but I write children's books. I tend to write, but I write other books too. But my go-to is children. But the fact that you found that place, you start noticing this pattern that you start writing poetry, and then the poetry became songs.
Sure did. And obviously being in church, it was a refuge. My writing was refuge. It was a place of healing. And once, it was my daughter. I had written something and just kind of messed around with it. And she heard me and she was singing it. And I was like, wow, that sounds nice. Something that was in my head, and she's kind of repeating it. And
yeah,
I'm like, oh, I may be a children's songwriter. I remember having that thought. And so then I was like, okay, now I'm paying more attention to what I'm writing. I'm being more intentional about writing down what I hear, because I would have these songs, say early in the morning, and I'm like, oh, I'll remember it in the morning, and I wouldn't. So I realized there was a time too when I was receiving these songs. So now my phone is full of voice notes, because any line, anything that I hear, I'm recording it, I'm writing it down. It could be a line or two, it can be a complete song sometimes, but it's, oh yeah.
But you know, you write, you don't write every day, or you do write every day?
Not necessarily, just when it comes. I don't force it, just when it comes, when it happens.
Okay. And I'm the same way. There's something that I call it umptioning, that you'll hear something and you know the minute you hear it, you know it is something significant. But if you don't, it's almost like you have to catch it out the air. If you don't catch it and capture it right then,
yes,
I always say that God gives it to somebody else.
Yes.
So you have to write, and I don't know, for me, I have to write it down.
Yes.
I hear something. And the fact that your daughter was singing it, so she has that musical background too.
You know, she does. It's so interesting because when I watch her, she's so similar to me. And even though, she's growing up, I was almost said she didn't grow up in an environment like I did with music, but yes, because she grew up around me. So I always had the piano, music was going, whether I'm preparing for a choir or praise team or just my own personal song. So she grew up hearing it. So as much as she's pursuing a medical to become a doctor, but she has the music in her because she's done some writing too. But just hearing it back from someone else, it was a bit of I don't know. I don't want to call it confirmation because I didn't know what was there, but I heard something in her that caused me to take notice.
All right. I think it's wonderful. Because it is a gift. It's what it is. It's a gift to be able to.
Thank you.
Songwriting is a gift. Your playwriting, all of it is a gift because you're doing something that wasn't there before. That's why I always say that it's coming out of you into it. It's a world.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about it because it's not something I talk about much in terms of the process. And I've described it to someone once as, even like with some of the poems, it's as if God slows down time and allows me to capture a moment. So I'm describing everything. I've been sitting, in a car outside and something about the sky or the palm trees or something about the wind or the hum of a car that's passing. It's like, I have to record this moment in these writings. So
I'm telling you, it is, I already know. It's like, I'm listening to you. It is, I do the same exact thing. Because you can't explain it. This is truly unexplainable, trying to put it into words.
Yes.
But you know it when you hear it. Well, I know I was saying too about being you're singing and you're writing, and then you're a playwright. That is a whole. Each one of these that I described is a different creativity, because people that may just do one. They may sing. You may know someone that may dance, but they don't sing, but they dance, or they may act. But to do the multitude of these things across the board, to organize choirs, to prepare them for productions, number one, you have to be a very organized person. That has to be, because you're organizing other people and keeping them on track and keeping them, to be where they need to be and do what they need to do. And no, I've never done that.
See, that's that left brain side of me, that science, meticulous with details and exactness. And I recently took a Clifton strength analysis, and some of my top strengths were like, input and learner, because I like getting information. I take it in, but I also have a love for sharing it with others as a relator. So it allows me the best of both worlds. Like, I can be creative and go all over the place, but I also like structure.
That's good. I can't say that. I think I like this part. I don't know if I like the structure. That's the truth. I have to work. I struggle with that. That's not true. Let me. I was a teacher for years, so I had to be structured.
Yes. Yes.
So there was no other way to be in order to do what I need to do. So I was in a structure. But when I was outside of that structure and I no longer had to be there, I have the different things now. So if you can do them both and well, I applaud you for
Yeah,
that.
no, let me say, I've been tested because as you stated, I'm in school now. I'm in graduate school. So, see, I'm a creative writer. Now, when you have to write these
Mhm.
papers, that's a whole nother mindset of writing. So I've
Yes.
had to make that adjustment because it's like you're being asked to write about this, A, but my
Yeah.
creative mind wants to go C, D, F, G. And then I get so upset because I'm like, I told this narrative and that wasn't the question. So now
Yeah.
it has caused me to be focused on just this thing, write
Yeah.
about this
That
thing, not all of that.
I know. But that, like you said, that creative is taking that long way around to get to that one thing. And I'm the same way. I see so many similarities. I had to work when I need to be structured, I will. That's what.
Yes.
But if I don't have the structure, I will float around and
Yeah.
and come back. But I think it's still wonderful.
Yeah. I've discovered that I need both. Like if it's just the structure, it's too much. But then
Yes.
I have to have the balance of both. So like I've served a lot in ministry as, worship leader, minister of music, which I felt like in some sense, those are like the perfect jobs for me because I get to be creative and come up with all sorts of ways to tell stories about Jesus or whatever a particular message is. It can be stewardship or volunteering in ministry. So I can come up with a skit referencing that. So, but it also the side of organization with people and getting people, to buy into your idea. So it combined all of those, which I, saw that role as the perfect job because of my love of God and wanting to give him glory with the gifts he's given to me. So, which, yeah,
That's definitely.
I'm honored.
It's a balancing act. It's a balancing, like you said, it's going like this. I think I'm leaning more this way, but I have to work. But this one I've learned too. When you know what it is, that's when you can make a change. If you don't know what the change is, how can you make the change?
That is key. That is key because there was a time when I was not balancing it well. And I wasn't balancing it well because I did not have a clear view of who I was and the direction I was going. So I was sort of looking to the wisdom of others, not to say that's a bad thing, but
Mhm.
I was kind of expecting others to kind of see something and guide me along the way versus just trusting what God was speaking and walking in that because that unknown territory, that was a fearful step for me.
And that's
Um,
that what are the saying is, feel the fear and do it anyway.
yep.
That's that I understand completely. When you're taking that
Yes.
step and you don't know if it's going to be quicksand or hard ground, you don't know. But
Yes.
that's what faith is.
Yes. And that's
That's
what I teach my students, like my voice students. And it's like, I know the feeling. I know that nervousness when you're anxious. And I was like,
yeah,
let me tell you, that may not go away. Because with me, when I sing, as long as I've been doing it, I still get that feeling. That
yeah,
don't look for that to go away. But the
yeah,
thing is, you have to do it anyway. Know that I prepared myself.
yeah.
My coach is telling me, the real deal. She's not going to put me in the situations that I'm not ready for. So I have to jump in. I have to do it anyway.
And I think that's what a lot of us have to. I mean, I'll use this show as an example. I was scared. I was scared, but I said, you know what? Just try it. But
Yes.
but I was scared. I was afraid I'm gonna fall on my face. I don't know what I'm doing. You name it, I was feeling it. But at the same time, I said, okay, Lord, you brought me this far. So I'm just gonna trust. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
But
Thank
it's
you. And that's powerful to share. And I think in telling our stories of success is so important to tell of the journey, to tell of the fear, to speak of the uncertainty, because there's
yeah,
someone else that's feeling that. But if I'm always presenting myself in this, I've always known what I was supposed to do, and this road was just so straight, then what do they have? They're like, well, what's wrong with me? Because I have all of this fear involved. But when we can be real about the journey, I think it helps someone else while they're on their journey.
And it really, I think, like you said, helps them and lets them know that it's not perfect.
Yes, it's not.
That they know that this was not perfect. This is not like, I'll give an example. Today's show, start having technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, okay. I was getting like, ooh, but I said, okay, you're getting upset is not going to put the show on any quicker. You're going to have to, but I do. I get anxious. I get fearful, frustrated, every single thing. But I go, okay, just take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
It's okay. You just breathe. Yeah. But I think everybody feels, I don't think there's anyone who doesn't feel those feelings. If they're in a place they may not feel comfortable, even if you do feel comfortable. Now I think I feel a lot better. Almost 2 years ago when I pushed that go live button, I was literally, I'm not kidding, I was literally shaking.
Yeah.
I was so afraid, trembling. I don't feel like that now.
Right. Yeah.
Go live and I go, okay, you know.
Yeah, you have to respect that call. And like I was telling another one of my students, I was like, I see it as it causes you to respect what you're about to do.
Yes.
Because if I'm so full of myself that I got this, and I mean, some people may be able to walk confidently in that, fine, but with what I'm tasked to do, I have to connect with God. That's me personally.
Yes.
I have to. So I can't go in there like, I got this. No, with God, I have it. With God, I can do it because he's the one who has called me to do something that is so outside of myself. I dare not trust myself with this. I don't do it.
You sound so much like me. Because before, don't know, it's before every show, I always pray. I always stop and pray because I had to calm myself to know that if there's someone that learned something they didn't already know from the show, then that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Yeah.
To show up every Monday and show you can show up. Do I have problems and issues? The answer is yes.
Yes. Show up. I like that.
And that's half the battle. But I know too, I've learned that doesn't mean the problems and issues go away because you show up. It means that you show up in spite of them.
Yes.
And you just keep showing up. And that's what I try to do. And that's what I know too, as I was reading your bio and I was like, whoa. Because I know too, when you are in the field, especially in the arts, there are rehearsals that go on and on and on, time consuming. There's practices, your music, all of these things take time. But you're also a wife, you're also a mother, how do you balance all of those things?
I would say initially it was out of balance because my work allowed me to work a great deal from home, but my mind would be somewhere else.
Got it.
So even though I would take some time with family, because it was so in my mind, I was, maybe sitting there, but I'm with family, but working on something else. So I realized that nothing can come before God and my family. That's what I do now. Like it's ordered now for sure. Right. But before it wasn't, and when it's out of whack and any part is off balance, then I was becoming more stressed, complaining more, and it hindered the work. It hindered the writing. It wasn't flowing freely because it was out of balance.
Okay.
So I realized that putting God first in my life, putting my family, my husband and my children before anything else, before the church and anything else, that I wasn't going to lose. God has a way, and also establishing a Sabbath in my life, a day that I would rest, because if I can't make it work with the 6, then something's wrong. God set the example of how to be successful. And now I fully grasp that, because now I've moved from trying to please people to what pleases God.
Woo! And then really what you're saying is you got that order. Once you got that the order is how this is how, and now everything flowed from that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful.
Because then I was on this cycle, even though the creativity was flowing with the writing of the plays, and he was just drop. I didn't know they would become plays, and more so musicals, because that's my my area is music. But it was just like an idea, and it just grew and grew. I didn't know I would be a playwright. I mean, I had an interest in musical theater and things like that, but it wasn't something I pursued. I didn't go to school for it. But it's something he dropped in my spirit and gave me the ability to do it. And he knew that research and nature of mine. I researched how to put a script together. And I went to the library and bought the books on directing so that I could use certain terminology. And because I would say to myself, literally laugh at myself, like, what are you doing?
I knew you were gonna say that.
Write the play.
Yeah.
You're the lead in the play. You're directing the play. And then the talk from, before being teased about, I'm like, they're going to be like, you're in everything. Like, why are you? But I wanted to be in the back. I really did. I wanted someone else to be the lead for that play. But there were so many lines and such, the time, and I already knew the lines. It was like, it's me. So it was extra work, though. I'm the lead. I have to remember all the lines. All the set, decor, all of that. Because especially my first play, it was a church event, and I was over the department. So it was all on me. But it just grieved me to hear someone be like, oh, her again, because it's a lot of work, y'all. Pray for me.
You know what, though? And a lot of it, you have to know that this is what one of my sons told me. He goes, Mom, if you're going to do anything and you don't have haters, then you're not doing anything.
Well,
he said, what? And he goes, Mom, you got to have haters.
Point.
I was like, I said, son, I don't know what I was thinking that, well, you're trying to, do the right thing. He goes, no, you got to have a few haters.
Yeah.
So it was a few haters.
Yeah. I didn't understand that because I was like, I'm just trying, I want peace. I want love, like me. What can I do to make you like me?
But you know what? I don't know if that's a woman thing, because I don't think it's a man thing. No, I know men don't really care about that.
Right.
Women want the warm fuzzies, and I want, like you said, I want everybody like me. But the truth is, you are doing what Tyler Perry is doing now. No different.
Right.
Writes it, depending on what it is, he'll be directing it, and he'll be starring, and he's the executive producer of it. I don't hear anybody saying, is that you again, Tyler Perry?
Hello. And I had to use him as a reference to say, yes, you can.
Yes.
Yes, you can. Like, I have to talk to myself. I have to have my own conversation with myself to say, yes, you can. Or why not? Why not you?
You know
it's
what?
In you. Why not?
You have to give yourself permission. You are giving yourself permission to be great.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And I don't know why we feel like we have to do that, but I know I've said it. I was another book coming out, and someone actually said, "You have another book?" Yeah.
You're not talking about Dr. Seuss. Why does he have two?
And I said, when they said it, I didn't want to. This is the truth. I did not even say how many books I've actually written, because it's that bragging too. You don't want to look like you're bragging about yourself. I don't know about you. I came from Southern parents. My parents are from the South. You don't want to be, it's that you don't want to be too braggadocious. So you want to stay a little step behind type thing. I can't describe it, but I know what I'm talking about.
No, I totally know what you're talking about. Because even with some videos, and God would tell me, this is not just for you to put on the show. But then when it comes to Facebook or putting out a video, I'm telling you, it takes a minute for me to do it, because it's like, oh, here she goes again. That whole thing. Oh, it's always about her. But I'm like, Lord, it's not about me. I'm just trying to glorify you. Help me find that balance.
But you know what? I'm telling you, once you, this is, I listen to, well, I'm going to tell you who I listen to, but I'm going to say this too. The man uses a lot of curse words. Let me say, no, I have to say that because I do listen to him. And those of you that have heard of Gary Vee, but let me tell you what he has said, and it has affected my life. He said, if you would just put blinders on and do you, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
But it's true. And you have to not hear the naysayers. And the reason I say that, because we all only have so much time on this planet.
That is true.
We all have a certain amount of time. That's all everybody got. We don't. None of us know what that is. But
Right.
the is we have to make the best of this time. If he's given us these gifts, he's given it to us for a reason.
Absolutely.
So don't. It's not about is it you again? Because this is what I had to come to terms with. Why
Like,
not?
yes, it is.
Just why not? Why not you?
Right.
Tyler Perry was homeless. Homeless. I don't think he's homeless anymore.
Yeah, I don't see.
No, I don't think so. So, so the point being,
He doing all right.
he doing, yeah, he doing a little bit of stuff. A little bit of something. He doing just fine. And I just, what he's operating in his gifts.
Yes. That is the key, operating in your gift. And once you know that, oh boy. Oh, happy day. Sorry. Yeah. I'm telling you. Because it's like it's so freeing.
It is.
And you know, I've lived long enough just bound by whatever, my own thoughts or others' perception or expectations of who I am or what I should do. You know, God starts to reveal, this is you. This is, when I said you would do greater, this is what I am talking about. So the blinders are on to what God says.
And I think as I've gotten older, it has helped me because, like I was saying in the beginning, that I have another book coming out.
Yay!
Thank you. But and just all you have to do is be on my email list, and you'll get the books. But I would tell. Oh, see, I'm on the wrong. Am I on the wrong thing? The banner to some. I had so many things going on. I'm talking. But what I would definitely like people to know, even I struggle with it. That am I putting out too many books? Am I doing this? I go through all that too. And at the same time, I realize if you don't do it, somebody else don't do it.
That's right.
So you need to stay focused on whatever God has led you to do.
Yes.
And I've been blessed. I've written the script for a movie. I said, oh my God. So that's why when you're playwriting, I'm sitting here going, I was the same way. I started one way, and now in a whole nother, and I'm nervous. I'm anxious. I'm scared. I'm all those things.
Yeah.
And in time, I still keep going.
Yes. Show up.
And that's what you've been doing. And it's been, I mean, impressively, because I'm looking at all these places, and at the same time, you're still doing, it's not like you stop. You're pursuing another degree. I just don't know how you, they say, I don't know how you have the time, but at the same time, time. That's all.
I had to stop some other things. Because I found myself in a rhythm, a routine of doing, I don't even know what to call it, but I was in this routine that it was not feeding me. And there was,
I understand,
more God was calling me to.
Yeah. The fact,
I didn't know exactly what that more was. And that was that left brain side, logical side, was struggling with letting go of jobs, letting go of security that I thought I had in what I was doing. So it was a difficult decision to leave the life and lifestyle that I knew. But what I did know as well was that God was calling me out. And so I just said, you know what? I'm going to trust you in and I'm going to jump. I'm not just jumping in the deep end of the pool kind of girl. I like planning things out. But I said, Lord, this is you. So I'm going to jump. And I'm going to trust that you'll catch me. And so,
because, yeah, that faith.
I'm in the pool. Yeah.
That when you said the prayer and that I'm going to jump, that's when you're really saying, God, I'm depending on you. Because if we look in the natural, do things look like they're going to work out in the natural? I don't think.
Absolutely not.
Exactly. I think we if it's not faith, how do we move?
Right.
I retired early from a job. I took an early retirement, did not know what I was retiring to do. In fact, my boss then tried to talk me out of it. And what she was telling me without saying, like, in other words, you're going through a midlife crisis. You just, no, real, I'm not kidding. She was very much, she said, you have a good job, you got big, good benefits. You need to rethink this. She wasn't wrong, but once I had prayed about it and I knew that God was with me, it didn't matter what she said anymore. Nothing mattered.
Right.
Like you said, you took a leap of faith. Was when you did that, was it perfect when you took the leap of faith?
No. because still there's that side a backup plan.
Yeah.
So this is how I described it. I remember taking a swimming lesson years and years and years ago. Mm-hmm. So first we had to jump in holding this little hook thing. I think they use it to get people out of the pool in case of emergency. Mm-hmm. So I kind of picture it as that. I jumped in holding on just in case.
Yeah.
I have this just in case. But it was like, no, you got to let go of that too.
Isn't that? I was like, say that.
Wait, okay, give me a few weeks. He was so patient. He was so patient with me because
it's hard.
It's hard.
To do that because as my supervisor was telling me, she wasn't telling me anything I didn't already know.
Right.
Everything she was saying, I already knew, and at the same time, I said, I number one, I was trying. Remember, number one, I did not know I could write. By the way, no, seriously, I didn't know anything. Yeah. My entire life, I found out on the other side of saying yes to you, God, and I don't. If I tell you the numbers of books, it would be unbelievable.
Tell us.
No, because then people say, "Oh, she just bragging. She bragging about them books. She don't really have them." No, I really do have the books. I do, and it's hard because it's like they're coming out though. They are coming out little by little. Don't worry. As soon as I have,
congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's take time to congratulate you on that.
Oh,
yes, it is. Because and let me just take a minute to say, because I'm, as a writer and has written some children's stories, just for me, it's been sitting on the shelf. And just the process, people may hear you say, "Oh, I have but it's still a process."
It is.
And just that walk is not just as easy as, "Oh, I'm just going to brag about this, ha ha ha." So thank you for that and for being, an inspiration to others as you, try to help others to do the same thing, to get the stories out that are in them.
And we're going to talk after the show, but we're going to help get those books that you've already written out. Because didn't you tell me you draw too? Did I hear you say that?
I do.
Oh my God. I wish.
And I always say this, I draw a little bit. So
that means you draw a lot. That's what that means. I know what that means. You know how I know? Because I play, those of you familiar with Beer West, I play Beer West. I always say I play a little bit. You never say you play up, that you're real good at this. Because if you say it, then people have expectations of that.
See, braggadocious. We don't want that, right?
I think that's who we are. I think that's just the Southern trade, and that's who we are. Well, let me ask you this, Stacey. What advice would you give? It doesn't have to be a young person. It could be any person. That they have gifts, and what steps would you encourage them to take to tap into those gifts?
Yeah, I would definitely say grow the gift. So it may be taking some classes if you are a singer or a musician or an actor, actress. Take some classes, learn something, because someone knows more. There's always somebody better, stronger, but they can help pull you up and make you stronger. You may be considered a child prodigy in something, but there's still room for you to grow. So continue to grow and nurture that gift, even if you have to take some other job before that one actually manifests in the way you believe it's supposed to. But keep working on your gift, keep believing. And when that notion of where to go, God speaks to you, write it down. Write it down and try to separate yourself from, we talked about the tunnel vision, try to separate yourself from what others are saying, because they're going to only speak to you with what they see. Right? So, go ahead.
You know, I'm saying it's hard because they know you as this one. Like I said, my principal, 30 years in education. So my principal knew me as a high school teacher. And so that's all she'd ever known. So why would she be encouraging me to do anything but that?
Not going to happen.
No, but I had to have the faith to believe it was bigger than just me.
Yes.
And there was nothing wrong. And don't get me wrong, I love my time teaching. It was a blessing. Excuse me, I still teach, really, because now I teach people how to write their children's books and other books too, but primarily children's books.
Yes.
And take one step towards your gift. Don't deny it. Don't put it away. Be okay with being gifted.
Exactly.
I don't think everybody is.
No, I wasn't. And that's a very good point. I wasn't. I was in the mind frame of what is spoken of. How do you get the American dream? And what's the best way to do that? And that could certainly deter you from how you're designed, what gifts you're given, because now it's about this hustle and bustle that, I mean, you may have the money, but then you're not satisfied, you're not whole, you're not at peace because it doesn't agree with what you were designed to do. You know, if you're a hand, you were designed to function, you know, like this, not like your nose. You know what I'm saying? So
but you're just, but I think we have to give people permission. You are now today. Anyone, whatever your gift is, you have now received permission from Stacey and me that we said, do you?
Yes.
That if you want to dance, if you want to act, if you want to write, and I always defer to writing because that's what I like to do. But some of you are excellent cooks, but you've never operated in that. You don't realize that your cooking is something special. It's not the everyday thing that people have. And maybe you've always wanted to open a restaurant.
Yes,
it is. And I say this because we act as though we're here to stay.
Right.
As we have just experienced in this last year, over 500,000 Americans have died. Now, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure that many of them did not expect, they expected to be here. Expectation, and many of these people are young people. They were older people, everybody so this is, to me, it was a wake-up call to us.
Absolutely.
Do it. Even though it may be scary, still do the scary.
Do it.
You may have the next award-winning movie in you. That could be you. How do we know? You may have the next song. The people, I don't know if those of you watched the Grammys last night, and think of the young lady's name. She won, I think, for best song. Anyway, and her brother wrote that song in a tiny little bedroom at their house.
Right.
It wasn't like some, exorbitant
writer's retreat.
She admitted, she said, we were in a small little, like he had his keyboard here and I'm sitting on the bed. And we wrote this song that became, award-winning Grammy Song of the Year. I think somebody wrong. I can't think of and I love her song.
Don't know.
And I can't think of her name. It'll come to me. Watch, it'll come to me in the show. Yeah. Those of you guys that know, she won last night. I'm very happy for everybody that won. And those of you that already know too, Beyonce has the most Grammys in the history of the Grammys.
Oh, wow, does she?
That is
surprise. No.
I'm so proud of her and how she thanked her children and her husband. I'm just so proud of her as a young lady. As a young woman. She's not a young, grown woman. I say that they're operating in their gifts.
Yes.
Even when they accepted the awards, it was almost like And almost like not, they weren't guilty for accepting it, but there was a humbleness. That's what they had. They were humbled by this. I wrote this. I didn't expect anything like this. And you could tell by the way they accepted the awards.
Yeah.
They didn't go, oh yeah, that I'm
right.
No,
I did this.
No, everybody was humble. And that's what you are too, Stacey.
Oh.
You have a humbleness in your heart of, I'm just doing what God gave me. I'm not trying to do anything but that. This is what the Lord has given me to do, and I just want to share this with everybody. So I just want to tell you, as we move, go along in the show, I'm humbled by you.
Oh.
I have you as a guest on the show. I can't wait whenever you have whenever you have another performance or anything that I can definitely attend. I will definitely go out of my way to be there.
Thank you.
I want to let you know too, I don't know how many children's books do you have? Do you have like 1, 2? How many books have you written there, children's?
I have several stories, so we'll have to talk offline about that.
We do. And turn those into actual books. I can tell you, we are in a time that's unprecedented, that the things that can happen and can get done. And even if you draw outlines of the characters that you want, things like that.
Yeah.
So because you know in your mind what you want. I'm not the artist of my books. I wish.
Right.
So I hire artists, as a matter of fact.
Right.
Those of you that are artists, you can send me an email because I'm interested. I'm always looking to hire artists. But I would tell you, you already have what's called the content. You have that. So we'll work and look, like I said, but once we don't worry.
All right.
But I just want to tell you, thank you for sharing with everyone, because people think it's easy. They don't know the time it takes to do the things you do. They have no idea. The fact that you're telling people get organized or get your life in order first. That is to put God first, and then know that your family is next, and then you can go on. Everybody doesn't always know that. All of these things are pluses. So what would you like to tell our audience before we end this wonderful show?
If you don't mind, I'd like to share one of my poems.
Please.
Okay, so I initially titled it Back, and you'll see why. But I think now more the title should be Faith. Okay. So it says, just when I thought you were gone for good, you showed up. Seemingly from nowhere, right up to my door, you knocked. I looked through the peephole, and there you were, standing with swagger and a handful of bags. Did you really think I would take you back in, cloaked in love and self-preservation? But the core of you is sin. Yes, you, fear. I'm talking to you. Go and don't come back. I lived with you for far too many years. You told me I couldn't think big and that I wasn't good enough. I believed you for a season, but now it's spring. A new life it brings. I am risen again with purpose and power to do a new thing. I no longer need the protection you seem to give when your true motive was to kill dreams, kill a promise to abundantly live. But now I know the truth. I can no longer listen to you. Your words are empty. They carry no weight, but I got a new love, and his name is Faith.
Oh, girl. I have to get a copy of that. Beautiful.
Thank you.
We do that, and I love that part about for a season. For a season. We fall for the okie doke. Mm-hmm. But then, I love it. Beautiful.
Thanks for having me and allowing me to share that. And I'm grateful to know you.
Oh, same here. But no, we're going to be doing some work together, so I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
For sure. So I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to have Stacey, just a minute before I want to let her go without number one, thanking her for her time and for her to get on the show, because she is such a busy lady. We had to reschedule her. So glad that she was able to make it.
We made it work.
We make it work, girl.
Yes.
Yeah, to make it work. But I just want to let you know that you're definitely welcome back at any time. And I want, when you do, I mean, I don't know what your other poem. Do you have a book of poems before we go? Is there you have a book of poetry?
I do.
Do you really?
I do.
Hey, you know then I don't want to talk. I can't talk. No, because I know. See, anyway. We're gonna thank you for coming today.
Thank you. Thank you to all of everyone who tuned in. I know I remember seeing some friends that I know from church. Thank you all so much for your love and support. And for new friends, as she has in the banner, I'm on Facebook under my name, Stacey Aasiya-Bey. Yecats, YECATS 2001 at gmail.com. But also I'm on Instagram under my name. If you're a LinkedIn person, I'm there. And YouTube, I have YouTube videos. So Stacey Aasiya-Bey, put that in the search engine, and some of my videos should come up. So thank you all. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And you will come back again, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
And now is recorded, so I have to.
All righty. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
My pleasure.
Oh, that Stacey was here for, I mean, we came on a little bit late, so we do apologize for that, but just know that sometimes we have the technical problems. I just wanted to come make sure I came and thank you personally for staying with us, hanging with us for this time. We will be back next Monday with another guest, and I can't thank each and every one of you enough. God bless you. I will see you back again next Monday. Bye-bye, everybody.